welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I still don't know the answer to that question. However, a question I do know the answer to is, what have you got on your eyes today, Ange? And the answer is this. This is the Midnight. I'm trying to show you it without dazzling you. I think that's about... that'll have to do. This is the Revolution Midnight Unicorn palette. Now, it's not new to me at all. I've had it quite a while now. And I've used it quite a few times. So, rather than this just being a first impression, I can actually let you know how these shades perform throughout the day. So, if you want to find out exactly how I created this look, and you want the inside spec on how long these little babies last on your face all day, you're in just the right place. Here comes your review. Hey, welcome back from the intro. As you can see, base products are done. It's actually cool enough for me to put foundation on, which is so nice, because I've got so many foundations that I need to do wear tests on for you, and it's been so hot I haven't been able to keep any on. But this particular one is using this Midnight Unicorn, trying to be able to show you the packaging without blinding you. Midnight Unicorn Revolution palette. It's one that Lyndon asked me to do a review on for her. It's just, again, one of their shiny ones with mirror, floppy thing with the names on, and one of these sponge tipped applicators. Now, don't automatically lob those in the bin, because those are great for putting glitters on or anything like that. So, that's what the palette looks like. As you can see, it's a lovely bright palette, and as you can see, I've used it quite a few times. I'll put some swatches in here just so you can see, going from wrist to elbow. You've got Twilight, Magic, Enchanted, Horn, Darkness, I Believe, Midnight and Majestic, and then Charm, Mesmerise, Captivate, Bewitch, Spellbind, Dazzle, Creature and Immortal. Hello, I'm back. Right, now this is not a new palette to me. I've used it lots of times now, so I know how all the different colours perform, and I know how they wear throughout the day. Now, the only, what I would call dodgy shade within it is Spellbind, which is this black here with the glitter in it. Hella fallout from that, so if you're going to be using that one, either put powder down, or better still, do your base products after you've done your eyes. But let's get you zoomed in and let's do this eye look. These shadows do actually hold true to colour throughout the day as well. They don't tend to... Hello camera, where are you going? There we go. They don't tend to fade much during the day at all. Now, as you know, although I've set my eyes... Why are we down? That's better, I think. Yeah. Right, although I've set my eyes, I've got concealer and powder. I've set it with the Coty Spun. Because Twilight is very close to my natural skin tone, or possibly a shade or two lighter, and because, as always, colours from the same palette do blend best on themselves, I'm just going to run a very light dusting of that all over from lash to brow. In real life, I can actually see the difference. I have genuinely no idea until I start editing whether you can actually see. this going on. If not, this could be slightly boring for you at the moment. I'm using a Spectrum BO6 brush, which is basically a big old fluffy one. Now, when I look straight ahead, you can see all of my mobile lid, which means I don't have a hooded eye. If you don't see that, you've either got a half or a full hooded eye. What I suggest you do is you can still follow this tutorial, just get a thin brush and with your eye open, just sketch where you would need your crease to be. Now, obviously, that means you're going to be moving your crease up, which will decrease the amount of space between your transition shade or your crease shade and your brow. Now, for me, that's not an issue if I had to move it up, because I've got quite deep set eyes, so I've got a lot of space here to play with. But you may want to go in with, I'm showing you the wrong end of the brush, that's really helpful. You may want to go in with a slightly smaller brush than this initially if you don't have a great deal of space here to play with. Right, now I am going to start with the shade Midnight, which is an apricot-y colour. I have, as always, got my colour switch here for changing colours, and I'm just going to run that through my crease. As you can see, it really puts pigment down very quickly. I don't think there are any of these shades really that don't perform well. As I said, you do have to watch that one with the heinous amount of glitter in, Spellbind, because you can get fallout from that. But you can see I did my windscreen wiper initially to lay the shade down, and now I'm just doing twirly whirly movements, because being the far side of 40 and having lost a lot of weight, you can see my eyelids actually move and crease. So to make sure that I don't get any gaps, I do circular motions one way and then circular motions in reverse, just to make sure that I don't get any gappy bits. I have noticed recently I'm starting to get some vertical lines here and here, which is actually making it more difficult for me to get any colour to blend well there. So if you do notice that I'm struggling to blend on that corner, it's most likely not the shadow's fault, it's my face. But you can see that blends out really nicely. It looks a tiny wee bit patchy here on me this morning. But that's most likely user error, to be honest. It's been a while since I've actually filmed because it's just been so hot I haven't been able to keep any kind of makeup on. I mean, literally the last couple of films that I did, like the Hell Yeah Whoa No for example, I filmed the eye look for it and then just filmed the Hell Yeah Whoa No and just ended up taking the makeup off because it was just, oh, it's been horrible. It's not only have we had heat way up into the 30s, which for the UK is not particularly known, we've also had really high humidity as well, like 91%, which, if you don't know how that works, basically if you've got a high humidity there's a lot of water in the air, which means that when you sweat it doesn't evaporate off your face. And the whole point of sweating is that it reduces your body temperature by having the sweat evaporate off and thereby cool the skin. Yeah, that's just not been happening in the UK. It's been dire. And it really has, and it went on for about 3 weeks. I was getting to the stage where I'm like, I am running out of backup films. Because I do tend to record quite a few, I try and get as many recorded as I can in a week and edited. Between 2 and 4 tend to get uploaded a week. Because then if I'm away for anything, for a holiday, or if I'm not well, or weather conditions prevent me from filming, I've at least got films I can still put up for you. So you still get regular films from me, regular input. Okay, I like that, that's pretty. Right, I'm now going to deepen that up by going into Darkness, which is a lovely hot pink. I'm going to stay using the same brush, and I'm going to repeat a lot of what I've done here. So I'm tapping off, I'm going to run initially as a windscreen wiper through my crease. And obviously, I can follow my eyeball, you just need to go wherever your crease needs to be. Pick up a bit more powder on the brush, tap off, and then this time I'm going to tilt my head backwards a bit because I don't want this pink to go as high up as the corally apricot colour did. I just want to blend it just above the crease there. I don't want to take it up my eye at all, really, because I'm trying to add a little bit of depth. I don't want to lose the coral that I've already put down. What I'm going to do, I'm really struggling with this corner here today. It's not the shadows, I've used these before. It's one of my favourite palettes, so I know the shadows don't normally go like this. That's user error again, sorry. Right, I'm going to clear the colour off of that brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the coral that I laid down first. I'm just going to buff the edge of where the pink meets the coral just so that we keep that. I really hope it is showing up in real life. I really hope it's showing up on the edit that it is actually the two different colours there. Right, go back into Darkness to do the other eye. And I'm just going to do exactly the same thing. Windscreen wiper it through the crease first, and then pick up some more shadow and blend it in circular motions just above that crease. Now you're probably asking, why am I shutting this eyeball when I didn't close the other one? Long-term viewers will know I'm actually blind in this eye. So if I were to close the other eye, there wouldn't be a huge amount of makeup happening. It does, of course, give you the benefit that you see two different types of application of makeup, so you can then decide which one works best for you. I mean, look, you can see that's not giving me half as much trouble as the other eye did. I have just got a little bit of fallout there. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to go back into the corally shade of Midnight, and like I did before, I'm just going to buff over the edge there to soften that pink where it meets the coral, and to make sure we keep the coral at the top there. I've gone for a really warm eye look, which is so not me, but it just does reflect what the weather has been like. Just taking all the colour off the brush, I'm just going to blend this bit here because it's looking a little bit scrappy. There we go, that looks better. Right, time to change brush and go for a slightly smaller brush. I'm going into, this is one from the Balm, and it's Crease, Love and Happiness, and you can see it's still very loosely packed, but it's a lot more tapered shape. And I'm going to go into, let's go into Horn. I'm just going to put this just on the outside corner here. It's a really lovely sort of violety, purpley blue. I'm just going to pop this on the outside corner here, and then in a minute I'm going to run it through the crease. just buffing that corner and pick up a little bit more, tap off, and run that through the crease like so. And then without adding any more colour, I'm going to tilt my head back and literally just blend on the crease itself. I'm not going up the eye at all. I'm just going to blend that darker colour out, just a fraction there. Right, I'm going to take all the colour off the brush now. And I'm just going to really gently buff where the edge of that deeper shade meets the pink. I'm not adding any more pigment to it. I'm literally just blending the edge to blow that shade out a bit. You see, that gives you a really nice bit of definition on that crease. Now, one thing I do notice with these shadows, they do tend to get a hard pan on them. But although they get a hard pan on them, you can still pick colour up. I mean, you can see this is picked up absolutely fine, but I don't know if I can get it to show. There, you can see that it's getting hard pan already on it, but it does still pick up colour. Very rare for me to have a shadow that does that, but there you go. Right, again, run that through the crease. I don't advise you put your eyelid around like this, but as you can see, because this is the one that I was blind in, it got pulled around a lot more as a kid. So I do tend to have that issue just in that corner there. Thanks for that, dog. Right, taking all the colour off of the brush, and I'm literally just gently blending just along the crease line itself. I'm not adding any additional pigment to it. I'm literally just very gently blending those edges just to blow them out and blend them into the pink. Do you ever have one good eye and one bad eye? One eye that behaves really well and the other one just decides, no. Yeah, good eye, bad eye. It's proper giving me fun and games today. And you can see from how well the shadow blended on this eye that it's not actually the shadow, it is just me. User error, user skill level. Well, I never claimed to be a beauty guru. I like makeup. Right, I'm going to go in with the other end of this. See, this is the end I've just used, and this end is slightly more, it's like a packer brush almost, but I'm going to use this to go underneath my eye at the bottom here. Sorry, I'm sitting on a nerve and my foot's gone dead, which is the most bizarre feeling. Right, let's pick up a little bit of Majestic, because there's purples in the palette, and you know me, I'm going to use them. And I'm literally just buffing that, just under the bottom lashes here, just to add a wee bit of colour. A wee bit of colour. Because obviously where I've used concealer under here, I've taken away any colour or natural pigment that my skin has there. So we just need to which it kind of brings the under eye forward quite a bit. So I just need to knock it back again and just add a little bit of depth of shade just underneath. You can see I'm not going all the way along, I'm going about 2/3 of the way. And this is a really nice, soft, fluffy brush. So it really does buff the colour out nicely. As you can see. How's your day been? I don't even think I've asked you yet, have I? How rude of me. Right, that's nice. And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of Magic, which is the really, really light pink on the top row, and just blend that at the start of the eye there, just to give it a little bit of colour there. Not a huge amount, but just enough to blend it into that purple. That's pretty. Right, now I need to get a packer style brush. Which one of these is going to be the best for that? Probably this one. This is my So Eco, but the name of the brush has worn off, but you can see it's a really nice flat brush. And now, shall I go in with the silver or shall I go in with the blue? I think the silver's going to work best today. So I'm going to pick that up on the brush and then using a setting spray. This is actually the Pigment Boost from Makeup Obsession. It's just basically a setting spray. I'm just going to pack that onto the 2/3 of the lid that as yet had no colour on it. And you can see it's a nice pewtery sort of silver rather than being like a mercury silver. It's quite nice. And you can see it's got the glitter reflect in it, but when you apply it wet you don't really get much fallout, if any. I'm just going to do the same on this side. Pack that colour on. That looks really pretty. I like that. Right, I am now going to go off camera and I'm going to do my eyeliner and my mascara. I might even do highlight while I'm off camera. Depends on how carried away I get, and then I will return and we can see the finished look. Don't go anywhere now. Hey, I'm back. As you can see, I used my Renaissance Flick liner. I used the Barry M That's How I Roll waterproof mascara. I used the lightest section of this. I wish they'd stop doing reflective packaging. Revolution Renaissance Illuminate. And this is the Radiant in Rose, so I used that bit. Setting spray today is my NYX Dewy Finish, and the lippy is a Melt lipstick in shade Lude. Ooh. Right, so here is the final look. Now, as I said, I've used this palette a lot. I'm really sorry my white balance is going up and down, but it suddenly got very dark and stormy outside, so fingers crossed we're actually going to get a storm, which will make it even cooler and clear the air of this horrid humidity. Yeah, so I've used this a lot of times now, and as I said, the only sort of slightly, if you can call it, dodgy shadow is the black with the sparkles, where you get quite a bit of fallout from it. The rest of these shadows, you don't get a major amount of fallout on them, providing you tap your brush off. They blend really quite easily, especially for a cheaper palette. And they don't fade throughout the day, they keep their colour all day. So, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, perhaps you could hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell, and when you hit the bell, make sure you choose all notifications, not just some. All that remains for me to say is you'll stay fabulous now, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.